Hey everybody, I'm Molly and welcome to your practice. We're gonna do a quick fix for your low back and your SI joint, your pelvis, anything in this area. If you're feeling any pain, discomfort, tightness, laxity, this will help connect you to this area, hopefully help reduce some of the symptoms you're having and get you a little more connected to your body. So go ahead and grab 2 blocks if you have them. If not, you can also modify with pillows or bolsters, and take a moment to set up your space if you'd like. I always like to do something that smells good or maybe some gentle music to just bring me into my practice and my body. And we're gonna get started with our blocks at the front of our mat. So today's class will be a fascia floss yoga practice, and I will explain what that means. We're gonna have our hands on the blocks. Blocks are on the lowest setting at the top of the mat and come into tabletop. So hips are stacked over knees. So fascia flossing is an active lengthening type of stretch. So we're gonna push our palms into the mat. And as we do so, we engage the muscles around our lats, around our shoulders, as we sit our hips back towards our heels. Okay, inhale, relax, come back up. Exhale, push your hands into the blocks and sit your hips back towards your heels. Close your eyes, feel into your body. Notice if you can tune into any sensations of your fascia, which is a connective tissue, a type of webbing that surrounds every muscle, bone, nerve, blood vessel, organ, everything in your body, right under your skin, between the layers of your skin. And it can become really tense and dense and calcified. So we want to stretch and actively lengthen so we feel it gliding and sliding and creating more space and fluidity in our bodies. So push your palms down. We'll do one more, hips towards heels. And then walk your blocks a couple inches to the right. Same thing, especially push your left hand down. And we're gonna sit our hips a little bit towards the left heel. So find kind of more of a side body stretch. We inhale to relax and release any engagement. We exhale, find our myofascial tissue engaging. And then as we lengthen, we're shearing that tissue and breaking up any clumps or areas that are redundant. Often we get in these patterns because we've done the same thing for years, or we sit a certain way, or we've had injuries in the past and our body lays down tissue to protect us or to solidify that area for support. And then sometimes we don't need it anymore. So that's why we're here. Let's do one more towards the left hip. And then walk the blocks over to the right a little bit, push down into your right hand, and sit your hips towards your right heel. Feel that nice side body stretch. I love opening up any low back or SI joint or pelvis class with a classic warm-up like this because our fascia spans the whole length of our body. It's not just in one specific area. So you don't target it by isolating it in one area. So this is kind of spanning the upper, the lower, the core of our body. Let's do one more over to the right. Good. All right, come back up. Place your blocks towards the middle of the mat. Cactus your left elbow. So create a 90-degree bend and then swipe it across towards the block on the right side. Again, on the lowest setting. So our left arm is crossed over the midline. We're gonna push our forearm down into the block. Your right fingertips are down for support. And then we're gonna dip our left ear and left shoulder down. Inhale, relax, come back up. Exhale, find the engagement by pushing down through your forearm and then gliding over to the left like you're listening to the ground with your left ear. Okay, and then you can always remove the block. You can always close your eyes. You can try different angles, maybe a little bit towards, I can't think of a clock right now, like 7 o'clock, or maybe up towards 10 o'clock. And just feeling where your body feels sticky and where you would like to kind of move some of that tissue around. I love this one. I feel it so much wrapping diagonally from my shoulder blade down to the opposite side of my pelvis. Super yummy twist. Let's do one more in this arm. Perfect. And then slide that block over to the other side. We're going to cactus our right elbow, draw it across the body, land it on the block. Left hand is down for support. Exhale to engage, push your forearm into the block, and then dip over to the right. Listening towards the ground with your right ear. Inhale, relax, come back up. Exhale, push down. Glide yourself like you're creating a little rainbow arc. And then feel that engagement, because this is going to work that tissue on the back of your shoulder blade as you eccentrically or lengthen it while you're engaging it. Let's do a couple angle plays, maybe down towards the hip, maybe up towards the right corner of the mat. And really whatever pace feels good for you is what you should do. Let's finish with one more. Good. All right, lift back up. Blocks are on their highest setting. Step your right foot forward into a low lunge shape. Okay, find a little wiggle. And then as you're ready, the engagement will come by sliding your right heel back. It won't actually move, but that will target the hamstrings on the back of your thigh. So dig your right heel down and back, and then slide your hips back towards your left heel. Inhale, bend your knee, come back forward, relax. Exhale, engage your hamstring, and sit your hips back towards your heel. Your knee does not need to go all the way straight, ever. And we want to feel that tension through the whole range of motion of your repetition. So start the engagement at the beginning. Find that tension in your tissue, and then glide it out the whole time. So keep finding that engagement, keep going all the way back towards your heel. And hamstrings are super important to address if you're having pelvis pain, low back pain, SI joint pain, because they insert on the bottom of your pelvis and they can affect the way your pelvis is tilting, which affects the way your low back is aligned and how your body is kind of compensating. So it's also an area that can become really dense. Feel free to angle your toes in and out, by the way. Couple more reps, just exploring what feels good for you. The outside of your hamstrings tend to become more dense tissue in a lot of people. This is an area that is very supportive for the body. So often it needs to lay down more tissue, but the trouble comes when we do the same patterns over and over again, or we have had an injury in the past and we kind of forgot to address that tissue over time. And then it can affect things up and down the chain. All right, finish up one more. Perfect. Step your left foot forward and your right knee back. Low lunge on the other side. So dig your left heel down and then glide your hips back. One side might feel very different from the other. This is okay. If you find one side is tighter, you could do double the repetitions on that one side. Feel free to pause the video if that's the case for you. And as we're doing these fascia flosses, also know that fascia is an amazing material that actually conducts electricity, it conducts light, it helps with fluid balance and hormone balance, and it's very proprioceptive, meaning it has a lot of nerve endings in it as well. So this tissue can give a lot of feedback for our body in a really positive way that makes us adaptable and elastic, and it helps, if you're thinking in Chinese medicine terms, helps our qi or our life force flow more smoothly through the body. Okay, angle your toes in or out. A couple more reps. Perfect. All right. Have a lay down. You could place a block or a pillow underneath your head. And then we are going to place a block under our left foot, lowest setting. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then if you have the pillow, use the pillow under your head, and you can use the block as kind of an arm extender. So we're actually going to start with our knee out. So right knee is kind of externally rotating. It doesn't need to be super extreme. Place your right hand on the outside of your right knee, and then engage your outer glute by pushing knee into hand, but let your hand win. So let your hand win and pull your knee in and across the body towards the left. Relax to come back out. Engage your glutes by externally rotating, knee into hand, but the hand will win. Okay, and you might feel this tissue on the outside of the glute, outside of the hamstring, on the right leg. Again, our glutes, such a big muscle that affects everything going on in our pelvis. Really spans the length across the SI joint and inserts on the outside of our femur, our leg bone. So we're just kind of targeting all these areas in and around the back and the pelvis. Let's finish up one more here. Good, and then this time keep your knee in. Left hand comes to right knee, and we're gonna push in towards each other, but the hand is gonna win. So we're gonna start in and push out. Relax to come back in. Engage the tissue on the inner thigh as you push back out. And then this is a place where you could use a block in the left hand to kind of extend your arm if you'd like. Depending on the length of your arms and your torso. I have a longer torso and shorter limbs, so sometimes yoga teachers will say things and I'm like, I don't reach that way. That's not the way my body is shaped. So always use props as needed. Let's do 2 more. Gentle on this tissue. This is our kidney meridian, if you're thinking in Chinese medicine terms, and it's a good energy replenisher too. So maybe you might feel a little bit restored after this class. Okay, bring your right foot up to the sky. Bring your left foot across and over top, and then we're gonna push up into our left foot, but the left foot's gonna win. So now we're flossing our quad tissue on the front of your thigh. Inhale to relax, come back up. Exhale, push your left ankle into your right shin and draw your knee down, or your foot down. Your knee is stacked over your hip. Don't bring it closer into the body. So you could have a strap behind your thigh if you need, but the back of your thigh is being cradled by your hands or by a strap. Relax to come back up. Find the engagement of your quad, so pushing up. This one can burn a little bit. And then feel free to turn your toes in or out. I like to turn them in because I tend to be a little tighter on the outside lines of my body, so that can target your lateral quad. And then maybe turn it the other way, because why not? Let's do 2 more. This one's a burner. Keep going. You might feel a flush. Sometimes I feel flushed in my face as I'm doing this. Good. And then bring your hands and feet up to the sky. Shake it out. Switch sides. So block is underneath your right foot just to bring a little bit more space and bring the ground up to you. We're going to start with left ankle crossed over right knee. Knee is out. Left hand comes to the outside of your right knee. And then find that engagement by pushing into each other, but the left hand is going to win. Drawing your knee in and across the body towards the left. Relax to come back out. Engage and cross the body. Maybe close your eyes. Feel where you feel this. Bring some intention to your practice. So we're breaking up scar tissue. We're finding space in the body, giving your pelvis room to function better, and giving your muscles the ability to contract in a more healthy way, all of which hopefully is going to translate to a better functioning low back and pelvis. 1 more. Good, now start with the knee in. Right hand comes to left knee. This is our inner thigh. We're gonna push into each other, but the hand is gonna win, pushing the knee away. Feel free to have that block in the right hand to extend the length of your arm. I'm gonna do about 5 or 6 here. Finish up with your last one. And then last fascia floss, let's do our quad. Left foot up, right ankle crosses over top, hands basket the back of your left thigh or use a strap. And then push up, 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 but the right leg is gonna draw the left heel down towards your bottom. Relax to come back up. Engage the tissue on the front of your quad as you lower down. Relax to come back up. Engage as you lower down. We'll do about 10 here. Feel free to turn the toes in and out for a couple in each direction. Starting to listen to the wisdom of your body. It knows what it needs. It knows which way to go if you follow it. And don't second guess that. Start to become confident capable in your body, knowing that you have the tools to meet yourself, to listen to yourself, to help yourself heal. All right, one more. Good. Remove your blocks. Plant your feet down. Remove your pillow. So we're in a bridge pose, but we're not lifting our hips up yet. Place your hands on the outsides of your hip bones and then just take a tuck of your pelvis up and down. So if the pelvis was a bowl of water, you're spilling it towards your belly button and then spilling it away from the body. Good, and then push through your feet, bridge up by engaging your glutes and hamstrings, driving your hips up towards the sky, and then lower back down. Push through your feet, bridge up, and lower down. Doesn't need to be a huge range of motion, just find some hip extension, some engagement of all those muscles we were just working. Maybe they feel a little bit more even and symmetric. And then on your last bridge, stay up there and find a couple pelvic tilts here. Takes a little bit of coordination. Could be really hard, takes some core activation as well. But just these subtle ways of getting to know your body better can be really healthy. And lower down. Arms up, hands up, shake it out. Take a few deep breaths, pull your knees into your chest and massage your low back by rolling from side to side. And then take as long as you need here if you'd like to rest in Shavasana and just kind of feel your body taking up space and softening. That could be really nice. Maybe closing your eyes. Just taking some low and slow breaths in and out through your nose. Of course, if you'd like to follow up this class with any other activity, feel free. But I hope you feel better. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.